right now, this drama has been a bit of a hot topic, and I really want to make fun of it, just like the rest of these people, because I'm so invested in how people like to tear apart these videos. Wait a minute. Hey guys, it's me, everyone's favorite Roblox YouTuber. I am the Roblox Slop Guy. Yummy yummy slop, tummy, delicious, whatever. Back when I was working on my retro slop video, I originally wanted to put a segment about asymmetrical horror games. I wrote it down in the first draft of the video, but it got lost in translation. I already have my original thoughts for that first draft, so I might as well just dump it on you. But first, I gotta refine it for the class, because I'm treating this like it's a college class or something, and I'm your professor. I find the general landscape of Roblox Asyms games to be interesting at best. It's a concept that's been repeated ad nauseum more than Marvel keeps making Marvel movies. I don't really have a thesis for this video, so I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. There's nothing pretentious I can say about Scary Maze game or Survival the Jeff the Killer. So this is more of a collective trash talking session. I have a lot to say about these games, and I want someone else to listen to what I want to say about these games. So that's what this video is, a YouTube video. But what the hell even is an asym game? An asymmetrical horror game is basically Dead by Daylight. That's all I have to say about it. We got 4 helpless people trying to do a task, while a killer tries to kill all of them. The rest are the prey, and the killer is the hunter. Research? What's that? An asymmetrical horror game on Roblox is like Dead by Daylight, but on Roblox. But the only difference is that the killer is controlled by an actual player instead of an AI. That means that Dandy's World, despite fitting in the same category, doesn't count because the monsters are AI. And I love that game! That's why asym horror games are objectively the most popular games on the market right now, because it's an easy blueprint to get fame and money in Roblox. Just copy someone else's homework and you're set for life. But what did come before? Words, blah blah blah, Roblox games exist. First was Piggy, which would count as an asymmetrical horror game, but it's a granny ripoff, so it's not an asymmetrical horror game, which means it sucks! Their alpha is closer, but I hate this game and I refuse to talk about it in any meaningful way. The first game on Roblox that could truly be an asymmetrical horror game is Flee the Facility. Its gameplay is as close as Dead by Daylight as it can be without ripping it off. Try not to tread that line of rip-offacy. There's a killer around the map trying to kill you. There's tools around the map to help the player survive. There's objectives where sometimes, if failed, will directly broadcast to the killer where you are on the map. There's an exit when you win. It's truly the first asym on Roblox. But it sucks because it's old. It was a game that used to be super popular, but now that there are newer and hotter games on the market, results may vary, but this game isn't what comes to mind when people think of asyms. They usually think of the newer ones that I am about to talk about in this video. And as we begin, you will start to see a pattern. Ooh, suspense, foreshadowing. Here we go. I got the fish for the video.
This the worst fucking game I've ever played.
Forsaken is a cancer tumor on this platform and serves as a reminder of the current asym landscape of Roblox. It's slop. If you see another asym game on Roblox, it's most likely inspired by this hog shit. I want to make something crystal clear. This video is entirely my opinion, so if you get pissed off while watching it, that's your fault. I feel the need to reiterate that because remember, I have an opinion. I hate this game, and my opinion is that I hate this game. Gameplay loop is just Dead by Daylight, but worse. Every single round has 5 generators for you to complete, featuring a recreation of the iconic Flow free app. Not sponsored. But here's the problem. Doing it doesn't do anything. Even if you go out of your way to fix all the generators, nothing happens. The only reason why this exists is just to reduce the timer by a little bit. I don't care if it's 70 seconds. I don't care. That's fine, I guess. Dead by Daylight still does it way better, but it doesn't let you escape, but at least it reduces time. But that's only fine in concept. In reality, it means jack shit when the killer kills someone and adds time. Now, in concept, the generators do sound like a good idea, but in practice, it's nothing but an illusion in the Matrix, trying to keep the brain-rotted iPad baby toddlers into trying to play the game even more. So most of the time is spent doing nothing but looping the killer and doing TikTok dances, 'cause funny, trendy, ha ha ha, lol. Forsaken doesn't have an identity. It's incredibly disjointed. It wants to do its own thing, but is using old Roblox as a veneer of quality. The roster is either old Roblox characters from the past, or is my super cool Do Not Steal OC from DeviantArt, who is super OP and broken. Like Shedletsky, who has a sword attack with a really shit hitbox, and also eats chicken. Or Elliot, who throws pizza. And then we have Two Time, who is apparently super OP. I'm sorry, I didn't play the game long enough to unlock him, okay? Okay. Yeah, so does the noob. He can eat like a ghost burger that turns him invisible. I was talking about that part. And a second life that lets you set your spawn point at the beginning of the round. To make up for okay. Well, all the abilities have long cooldown times from how of little I played of the game. I generally think the game's pretty cool, it's just that this video's stupid. Because of the slight power imbalance between, one of the survivor characters and the one you start out with, that are intentionally made to be weak because you're a newcomer, there is power creep in Forsaken. Yes, I have no idea what that word means. The characters were redesigned to try to make them look bigger and scarier, but in practice they look more like someone's DeviantArt Tumblr OC drawn by a 12-year-old. This is supposed to be the same character. Quite astute observation that I made. All the maps are inspired by older Roblox games, except for 2, which absolutely suck. But that's fine. All the maps are either broken or they're broken. But that's also fine too, because you don't play the game to have fun. You don't play for all the characters. You play it because you have an account on E621. The Forsaken fandom sucks and is heavily monetized there. That's basically what he says for the rest of this segment on Forsaken. Next game. Forsaken is one of the worst games I ever played. I hate its fandom. I hate its fan base. I hate its... I don't know. Fuck this game. I do not want to talk about it anymore. Killed my mom. Killed my dad. It ruined my life. What even is there to say about Pillar Chase 2? Like, seriously, I can't play it. Roblox says my account needs to be 25 days old in order to play it. I am being serious. What do you even say about Pillar Chase 2? It was the blueprint of most of today's asymmetrical horror games, which is not a good thing. Because if this game is not good, then well, what will become after will be horrible. Pillar Chase 2 is either abysmal dog shit or abysmal dog shit and absurd bullshit with no in between. It's heavily killer-sided because it's killer-sided. The fun of the game comes from playing as your favorite monster and ripping people to shreds like they're toilet paper. But you could also be Valem. Just don't be Valem. To try and act like the Gordon Ramsay of Roblox Asyms games, most people who play this game are dumb fucks. They just want to play as a character they like and go, I'm so powerful, look at that, I'm so cute. If you're playing as one of the good characters, just spam the ability until you win. And if you play as Valem, you play as Valem. I don't think fans of this game exist. This game is just a psyop. No, I'm not listening to anything of you're saying. This game is objectively garbage. This game makes me feel like I'm the main protagonist of a horror movie, and unless if I'm the main protagonist, I'm gonna die. The only definitive way to survive is to sit in a corner and do nothing. But even then it doesn't work because the killers have an indicator telling the killer where you are at all times, because I absolutely suck butt at this game. And because the hitboxes are shit, if you encounter a killer, you're gonna die and you can't do anything about it. And your only line of defense is looping, according to me. Even though there's ability survivors can buy, technically it doesn't mean anything because the goal is still surviving. I mean, it's called Pillar Chase after all, the end is always the same. The game's simply not fun if you're not the broken character of the round. I still don't know what he was thinking with this video. The game does look nice. Objectively, it is polished. But correct me if I'm wrong if this game looks like a shitty Unity Project mobile game. I feel like I could find various Fusion Z gamer uploads of this game made in 2018. It has that specific vibe to it. Objectives exist as a way for you to get coins to get killers, and that's it. Most of the tasks include the completely unique game mechanic of clicking something or holding E. It's more boring than boring. The coins only exist as one of the Matrix cleverly constructed illusions to get you into spending more money into buying killers. I feel like people only appreciate Pillar Chase 2 because of two reasons. A, because it's basically the blueprint for all other Asym games before and after. Or B, spend real money from their mommy's credit card to make them the killer. I mean, why else would they redesign 3 of their characters to avoid copyright? It surely has nothing to do with the absolute bread that they're making from this game. And also queso. Doom by Fate. Doom by Fate. To be honest, I have no idea what the frick this is, and still I don't know what the frick this is. Before playing it, I didn't know what the frick it was supposed to be, and still after playing it, I don't know what the frick it's supposed to be. There's no gameplay. Things happen. I don't know what's going on. Doom by Fate's identity is tied to old Roblox. Minus the characters and all the fucking stud textures everywhere. But that's not it, because it also features one of the most milked IPs of all time, Limbus Company. Another epidemic that can be traced back to the evil plot that is I am a pedophile and I'm still getting paid by the dev team, is the rampant references to Limbus Company in every game that the Forsaken dev team make. Even though I really like Limbus Company, I really don't get all these references. Honestly, they seem a bit sus to me. Forsaken already had tons of references to Limbus Company, and just like that, this game just doubles down on the references. Inspiration my ass. All these Limbus Company references littered throughout the game does not fit at all, so it has no identity of its own, it's just Limbus Company. This entire game also feels very rushed, which I do not understand because it's a free game made for children. This game is exactly like Forsaken, but faster and with less of a reason to do the objectives.
The game is supposed to be focused on directly fighting the killer.
No, it's not. What? I've had moments where I've been out of a hitbox and still hit, or I blocked an attack only to still take damage. The game is too fast, so I die. I think the idea of each survival horror having their own unique ability is really cool. Take Bacon Hair for example. He can blind people, eat pizza, and use a recon tool. Jane Doe is a healer and has a stun move. The Soldier can block and has a shotgun. The Jester is a zoner. Despite the quality of the game, it's unoriginal. I keep comparing this game to Forsaken because its core identity is basically that of Forsaken. Sure, it's slightly better, but it's still Forsaken. Sure, the game is currently in alpha, but I don't think any future updates can excuse this game for being a completely unplayable piece of shit. I have nothing to say about Pwned by 1400. The only reason I'm talking about is because Break In and Steal Things is a game of all style and no substance. It has a style, wait, didn't I really just say that? Its UI is reminiscent of old Roblox. And I love the fact that this game is in 4:3 because I'm a sucker for aspect ratios. The issue I have with the game is that there is practically no gameplay. Bias is centered around to completing a list of objectives about finding artifacts that are littered around the map. Once the artifact is collected, it shortens the timer by 2 minutes and you win. Even if you lose, you win, because you still completed the objective anyways. When you literally complain about how in Forsaken there's no point to completing the objectives. Oh, whatever. That's it. Find item, retrieve item, then wait. The issue is, this game isn't meant to be a stealth game, even though this is a review about Asym Roblox games. So there's a killer, but it doesn't play like an Asym. So it feels like it's here as an obligation. I mean, yeah, it's an Asym game. This is supposed to be a video about Roblox Asym games, right? If it's not an Asym, why are you even talking about it? I mean, at this point, it feels like you're just hating just saying, could you please shut up? How are you even in my video? As I was saying, they're just here because it's a horror game. I need to go off topic for a sec. This right here is a slacker from the game I'm talking about, Biased. The image of the slacker's face is from a Mario ROM hack called Mario, and it was a hidden image that was only in text, and when put through some kind of machine, revealed that image, and it was revealed after 14 years that unedited, it's this dude. Who is this guy? Well, this none other than Kyo of Duran Gray, whoever this is, a Japanese musician or whatever. So yeah, it's pretty funny that the slacker here is actually Kyo. That's a Scooby-Doo mystery and a half, am I right? Also, I'm lying, this game doesn't have a style, because there's a lag train emote. Like, seriously, this game's supposed to take place in 2005. When was Lag Train made? Lag Train, oh yeah, 2022. What the fuck? This game ain't the first to do it, but it's still a part of the problem. Instead of everyone getting unique abilities, everyone basically does the same thing, but now there's random objects for you to pick around the map that do different things. It sounds really cool and gives each round an element of randomness, but in practice, it only works when there's many people on the map. There's only one objective. Actually, like, each map has a different list of different tasks to do. So there isn't just one objective to do. There's also, like, many other objectives to, like, do, and, like, all of them take a while to... Could you please? You think I'm blind? I mean, yeah, depending on, like, how you talk about the game. Get out, please! Out! Jeez, man. I want to like this game, but there is no gameplay. The base is good, and there could be something to pick up from the scraps, but since it's trying to fit the mold of an asymmetrical horror game, you end up with a game as mechanically dense as it is boring. Die of Death is an odd one. The first time I played this game, I thought it was rather awful, and I didn't like it very much. Currently, I've sort of changed my mind on it, and I think it's pretty decent. But, in comparison to everything else I talked about, wouldn't be a video without me being pessimistic about everything for no reason. As a base, it's rather dull and boring. There are no objectives, so there is no quick dopamine hits to keep you engaged in order to fall into the illusion of the matrix of there being something to do. You run around, find the killer, fight or flight, then die or win. The end. There is nothing else to it. The thing that makes it unique is that instead of giving you pre-assigned abilities, the game has a random deck mechanic that lets you choose between 3 abilities. This makes it a roguelike. You don't know what each ability does, so you end up spending the next hour trying to figure out which ability you like and which ones you don't. And the next time you play, you can look for a specific build instead of randomly guessing. I think that's very unique and makes up for an otherwise boring gameplay loop. I don't think Die of Death has its own identity. Also, I'm lying, this game doesn't have a style. Alright, I've been exposed. I'm using different words so that I don't get accused of being lazy. As if I wasn't already lazy enough with this video. If I showed you these 2 games in the same aspect ratio, would you believe that they're different games, or the same game but at different stages of development? They're both retro slop. They're both asymmetrical horror games, with both quotation marks around horror. Same gameplay loop, same death screens. They're basically rip-offs of each other. It's just that one is a roguelike with no purpose, and one has objectives to complete. It's a burger, but with different condiments, so no matter what you drench it in, it's still the same burger, okay? This applies to every other game I've talked about in this video, but I'm sure you imbecilic brain should have gotten this by now.
These games play the same, and I find that disappointing. I guess that comes with these games being Asyms, but they don't have to be, you know? You don't have to...
Okay. What did you title your video then? Don't act like you're giving these developers a choice. And you're saying this as if everything negates these games being terrible, okay? Terrible. No matter how shit your retro slop Asym games are, they will always be someone to gargle up the sloppy game that you made, because slop, 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 that's what he said. Die of Death disappoints me because it tries to be unique, but it doesn't commit to anything. It has elements of a roguelike, but it's still just another asymmetrical horror game. It falls under the retro aesthetic, but it feels like it's just slapped on rather than it being an intentional design choice. This game could be good, but it's not, at least to me. I know people like this game. I know people like all of these games, but I'm someone who is critical about the kind of media I consume. And it's super yucky when its insecurities are staring me right at its face. Most of these games would say that they were made as a joke, and that's fine, I guess. You can make a game as a joke, but you still made a game that exists that everyone can play, so it's allowed to be criticized, you little snowflake. If the joke isn't funny, no one laughs. Die of Death was made in particular to mock the current asymmetrical landscape, but while also doing the exact same things that it's criticizing. There's an entire map in this game mocking Forsaken, but you can't participate in this very system you participate in while also making fun of it. At that point, it's just self-deprecation, the video game. Die of Death is the same as everything that came before it, just 10% more irony poisoned. This video has been very negative. I don't want to be mean, but I have to. I don't like these games, but I wish I did. When I see these games, I see their flaws, and I see bare-bones mock-up designed for profit. They try to be asymmetrical horror games, but fundamentally do not understand what makes a game like this work. There's no real objective. There is no end goal. It's the idea of a game with no substance. These developers are copying off of each other's homework, and it's changing nothing. But all of them have a different professor, so they get away with it scot-free. I made a separate video on Dandy's World because objectively, it does this concept better than anything in this video, and it's not even an asym. I can play Dandy's World for hours on end and not get bored, but I have to force myself to engage with these games in order to have enough footage to write down notes. I wish I liked these games, but I don't. Out of everything available, there is only one asym that I genuinely like. This game doesn't take itself seriously. This game isn't meant to be good. This game is a joke, and it's been a joke since the beginning. That game is you versus Homer. You vs. Homer is an anti-game. Objectively, this game sucks, but wraps back around to being some kind of avant-garde masterpiece. There's an active cult following that this game has, way too high effort for its source material. There is over 20,000 people playing this game at all times. There is no reason that You vs. Homer out of all games should be this popular. The entire gameplay loop is just one big game of hide and seek. One Homer, where's Bot? Bot hide. Homer kill Bot. Either Bot win or Homer win. It's like the game is meant to be as terrible as possible, and I love it for it. It's the platonic idea of an asym. There are no gimmicks. There are no objectives. The game looks fucking terrible. It rewards you for engaging with as little as of the game as possible. This is slop, but this is high art. There is an entire game dedicated to practicing wall hopping in one map. Objectively, this does this formula way better than anything else, and that scares me. That's it. That's the entire video. And that was my recreation of that terrible video essay. Oh, I think this camera's powered by AI. That's so disgusting. What I was for, when no one listens anymore. When no one listens, what I was for. When no one listens, no one. Oh, God.